I'm Heath Richter, and we just want to invite everybody to come on down to the Houston Clinic and check us out at our new facility. We've been in Dublin for a while now, obviously, but have a new office here, and we'd just like you to come down and see some of the new stuff we're offering. And if you need to get checked out, we'd be glad to do that for you. We've got able to do some ultrasound-guided injections now and physical therapy and just a little bit better space, so hopefully we can get you in and out of here a little bit quicker.
Come by and see us today at our brand new location, the Houston Clinic, Medical Drive in Dublin.
I'm Don Carswell of Dublin Chevrolet. The new year means new savings on your favorite Chevys.
Save $2,500 on the Chevy Trailblazer RS.
And remember, Don sells cars well only at Dublin Chevrolet.
Welcome everybody. I'm glad to have with me our dear friend Will Curry, who is president of the Dublin Rotary Club. You mentioned to me off air, what a great year to be president, huh?
It's been a lot of fun.
You know, with COVID and you being a business owner, and I know we're going to be talking about St. Patrick's and the joint Civic Luncheon today, but being a business owner, you know, you kind of have to shift with the tide sometime, but this past year has brought on a lot of new challenges, hasn't it?
It has, but our business and our mission hasn't changed as a service organization, or neither have any of the service organizations. So we are focused on bettering our community, and unfortunately this pandemic has given us a better opportunity to directly affect people in our community through COVID outreach programs, through support initiatives, through providing PPE equipment to our local schools, helping our sister organizations and different humanitarian efforts here locally. So it's really heightened our ability to give back. It has certainly changed the way that our business is conducted and how many times we're able to meet and gather and operate as a service club. But the core mission of Dublin Rotary Club and giving back to our community is not changed. You
moved off for some time, went to school, met a beautiful young lady, brought her back with you, which that was even better, wasn't it? But what drew you back to Dublin?
It was, so I'll kind of rewind a little bit. I was in Atlanta for a couple of years working for a gas station developer, and I just wasn't connected with my community. I knew a couple neighbors right next to me, but outside of that, I really wasn't involved in a whole lot that moved the needle for the community. And Atlanta's a big place. It was tough getting plugged in. So when I moved back to Dublin, I vowed that, hey, the first thing I'm going to do is get involved. Yeah. Rotary Club was one of the very first organizations that I joined, and probably for the first couple of years, the only answer I knew was yes, which now my wife says, okay, you got to start learning to say no for a little bit.
I had to learn
I like to see you a little bit. But that's a major thing that I wanted to do was be able to make the community better and join other folks with like commitment. Yeah. Dublin is a very special place to live, work, and play, and it's made special by the people who live here and contribute towards it.
Yeah, and growing up here like we did, it's a great place to live. We're close to everything. We're 2.5 hours from the mountains, not far from River Street or the beach or whatever we want to do, and right here in middle Georgia. I mean, it's a beautiful, even our own county, from Dudley to East Dublin, to East West, North South. We live in a great community. And you know, Will, and I know you see this, but you know, everybody don't like everybody. We all have our own idiosyncrasies as people. But you know, and I say this a lot around people, and people from out of town don't really get what I'm saying, and I know you will, but even the people that maybe don't like each other, when it comes to something good, building new schools or bringing industry or whatever, we always put those differences aside and accomplish that goal, and tomorrow we can go back to whatever we were doing if we don't really like each other or don't, you know, not want to hang around. But that's one thing about Dublin I've always noticed is we will get it done.
Absolutely, you're right about that, and the other is the sense of community that we have here. You know, I've told many people, if you want to hear what's going on in town or want to meet people, go to the local grocery store, spend about, you know, you can't spend less than an hour in the grocery store because of the people you run into. And my mother-in-law is not from here. and she would go to the grocery store, and it never failed. She'd strike up a conversation with 5 or 6 different people, just asking how they are. Yeah. How you doing? Who are you? Hadn't seen you around. You know, who do you know? And it's that sense of community and place that you just don't find in many places now. Yeah, so it's special.
It's very special. That's a good word to describe it. But and I know if you're watching us right now, if you're new to the area, I know if you've been here more than a week, and it's like my grandkids, they're to the point they don't want to go to Kroger with me or Walmart or wherever because, Papa, how long are you going to be gone? I'll say, 20 minutes. No, you won't. You talk to everybody, and there is that.
Yep.
That camaraderie and that fellowship, and that's one thing I've missed this last year when we had to stop having church is I told my pastor, now I love his preaching. I said, don't get me wrong, Pastor, but I miss everybody.
Yep.
That fellowship, and that's one thing, and we're slowly getting it back, and we need that for survival.
Oh, we do.
I mean, we need it as a people. I mean, God created us that way to have family units and friends, and that's a lot to do with it. And like you said, Atlanta is it's fun to visit, but
sometimes it's better to have it in the rear view.
That's right. The Joint Civic Luncheon, and y'all, most of you have been complaining. You call the TV station, you stop me at the store. Why aren't we having St. Patrick's? Well, the committee wants to err on the side of being safe and we don't want people to get sick. And I think back a year ago today, when we're taping this actually on February 22nd, but you and I, this community had so many friends and neighbors that we don't have today.
Yep.
They're gone. And I've got a few friends that, it's a conspiracy, it's not real, it's whatever. I said, let me tell you what, brothers. I told 2 of these guys, I said, I've stood over too many caskets. And when you do that, all of a sudden it's real. And we both, I know, and I don't follow you around or stalk you, but I know you and I both have stood over too many caskets this year of people, community servants. And it don't matter, it don't matter whether you serve the community or you stay at home all the time. If you lost your loved one,
it matters.
It does matter. It matters to all of us. It matters to every one of us. And when I look at the paper every day, there's so many obituaries. And we have lost so many people to COVID. And, of course, all the other things that go with it, But it is so sad. If we started naming names right now, it would be kind of like the wall in New York City of all the names that died on that day. But I saw on the news this morning we're about to hit 500,000 people have died in our country. But it is so sad when we think about the Chuck Harwells and the Butch Millers and the Roy Jones and the Angela Clarks and I could go on, but so many people we've lost in this community. And like we just said, if it's your mom or dad or just this weekend, the funeral of Coach Jimmy Fields, what a loss to this community. What a loss it was. And that's another reason we got to fill the gap for these people we've lost. And that's why you said when you got here, all you could say was yes. Well, my wife taught me to stop saying yes all the time, But we love this community, Will. And we want it to be a better place for our children. And now, this day versus last year this time, you're actually a dad this year, right?
I am. I am.
So it's, something good has come out of this year. We've had a lot of cancellations, but
well, last year, we canceled, the festival was canceled 2 or 3 days before the Joint Civic Luncheon was supposed to happen. Yeah. And who would have thought that a year from now we're still dealing with the same situation? Luckily, we have the light at the end of the tunnel with the vaccination process starting and going through the process. But, like you mentioned, it's an added risk, especially because the Joint Civic is such a big event.
Several hundred.
I think the last year, 2 years ago, the last Civic Luncheon that we had was over 600 people in attendance. And it was a sellout event, and every year it's that number. close quartered in the DuBose Porter Center. Their capacity has changed and being able to allow us to have an event here. With our board of directors and committee members, this is a couple months ago, we were talking about it when the case numbers were falling. Then you hit into Thanksgiving and Christmas and case numbers spiked. We wanted to see if, hey, is there any way possible to have this event? Maybe it's a smaller scale, maybe it's an off-site location, maybe it's open air. And at the end of the day, we looked at all the facts, all the figures, the rising case numbers, the risk of getting together in large number, and said, hey, why don't we give this vaccination time and people time to be vaccinated, and let's maybe pick it up at a later date. So while we are postponing the joint civic luncheon, I do want to make certain that we're not canceling it. We found a better time to have it, hopefully in the fall. But that's going to be a case-by-case basis as well, and seeing how things look at that point in time.
Yeah, we don't know. But we do encourage, as business owners in this community and as people that just love you in this community, please get the vaccine. I had some people this week tell me, James, don't get that vaccine. I said, well, I'm getting my second one. Well, I get it in the morning, my second vaccine. I said, I've not grown any horns or an extra toe or none of these rumors that you read on Facebook. You know, if it's on Facebook, it's got to be true, don't it? But so many things going on, but we do know that the vaccine is effective.
Yes.
And that's one way, and Dr. Kraft, instead of rumors on Facebook, y'all, I yield to Don Avery and Thomas Kraft and people like that, Don Nelson, that know, and they're trying to save this community. So please get the vaccine. I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack just for saying that, because I always do, but it's that important to me. I'd rather catch flack from you and you go on and get the vaccine, because even if you don't want to do it for yourself, isn't there somebody that you love more than yourself? Is there a mom or dad or grandmother or Aunt Louise or some sweet lady at church? We all should have somebody we love a lot more than ourselves that we would take this vaccine for. So we do encourage you to get that. Well, we're finally going to get to the joint civic luncheon here. I'm tying you up on all this other stuff, but those things are important.
They are.
And I needed your input and wanted your input on it. But joint civic luncheon, what's the most fun thing about that? When you walk into that room with several hundred people, tell me how you feel when you walk in that room.
This event is a true community event for the community, about community leaders, and the civic organizations and the members that contribute to that. So it's a celebration of our civic clubs, the good works that they're doing in our communities, and to thank them. We've partnered with the St. Patrick's Festival for years and years and years. I've called a couple of folks just trying to get the history of it, since it predates me, and they said it's been going on forever, at least 25, 30 years. In one of the articles I ran across on Scott Thompson, it may even have been the first year of the St. Patrick's Festival that the Rotary Club was involved in organizing the joint civic luncheon. So it's just really special on having the whole community gathered to celebrate our community and the good things happening.
Yeah, and it is. When you walk in the room, it's just like, it's just this great atmosphere. First of all, if you don't like green, don't ever go to it. It's just a sea of green, first of all, which it should be.
That's why I'm wearing my coat.
And it might be the only time you get to wear it, huh? But, and of course, the band playing, Michael Dukes, as always, he's retired now, I know, Mr. Horn. They always bring the brass band, and just, you know, West Lawrence has just got a first-class product when they come and bring it. But we've had governors and senators and NFL football players and all kind of people to come in. I know this last one, I think it was the last one, Will, you would have been at it, where the lieutenant governor was supposed to come and he couldn't get the plane in the air, or something was going on.
We had torrential downpours that day, and he had a tight schedule. He was supposed to be flying from Atlanta to Dublin, landing to give his speech, going to another meeting, and this was Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan. And probably a couple hours before the event, they would not allow his helicopter to take off to come to Dublin. So our joint civic committee, and namely our president at the time, which I believe was Jack Walker, had to coordinate something very quickly. And he called on a friend and Rotarian, DuBose Porter, to come in and give a history of the St. Patrick's Festival, why the St. Patrick's Festival was formed, what it really entailed. And it went off without a hitch. It was seamless. And it was all just happenstance that all that worked that way. So we have had great programs, great people come in, but it's the little things, the hiccups along the way that really show you what this event is made of and the people that make it up. And a big thank you to DuBose Porter for coming in and giving that speech on very, very short notice.
Well, if anybody can do it, DuBose can. And of course, his dad was Mr. Lester. Anybody like you or I that have sit with him, you don't do it when you only got 5 or 10 minutes, because the conversation with Dr. Porter would always take a long time. But
pictures and places.
He was mayor early on, and just a true community servant. Dr. Porter was just absolutely the epitome of what service to your, I'm trying to quote
service above self. Yeah, he certainly was
a Rotarian here, but he was the epitome of that. I mean, he was just a wonderful guy. So DuBose, hey, that was a no-brainer for him. But so we've had hiccups along the line, and but I always love, Will, when y'all present a green coat to whoever the speaker is, and the look on their face is like just all of a sudden they feel that hometown that you and I were describing a few minutes ago. So even the person may not ever come to Dublin, but all of a sudden they are a Dublinite, because we as a community, the civic clubs in this community, make them feel like a hometown person, don't they?
It's not like winning the Masters, but it's pretty close.
No. Well,
it's pretty close. But no, it welcomes them to our community and makes them a part of it, at least for a short time. And I've had so many folks after it that have gone to the parade or gone to the Arts and Crafts Festival, talked with our citizens and our community, said, man, y'all have got something really special. And I keep coming back to that word, special. And that's really what the St. Patrick's Festival and all the different events are around it, including the Joint Civic Luncheon, is celebrating the uniqueness and the special factor of this community that we live in.
Yeah, and it's unlike most events like Cherry Blossom. You've got paid organizers, and they spend all this money on people that head it up, executive directors, etc. But the St. Patrick's Festival, the reason it's succeeded all these years, and I'm sure you'll agree with me here, is the volunteers.
Oh yeah, all of the events, and I was past co-chair a couple of years ago of the St. Patrick's Festival, but all of the events are by our community members. So a church having a bake sale to raise funds for their mission trips, for your service organizations, and that's their big fundraiser for the year about how they put money back into the community. So all of this is about the community and for the community, which is pretty neat.
Last question, and this is the hardest one I say for last. What is your favorite event / events maybe? I hate to pin you down to one, because it's hard for anybody like you and I to say the pancake supper or whatever it might be. But so what's your top 1 or 2 or 3, however many you want to give me, events?
Well, first, on just behalf of the community and recognizing our service organizations, I think the Joint Civic Luncheon is a great event which showcases how we all work together. But my favorite event for the entire community is the Arts and Crafts Festival. Yeah. That is open to everybody. It generates huge crowds, and you see everybody there. Buying the funnel cakes or the specialty pineapple drinks or whatever carnival food is available, buying unique arts and crafts vendors, and really celebrating together as a community. Yeah. So starting out with the parade and rolling in to the Arts and Crafts Festival. Yeah. Exactly. It just showcases who we are as Dublin and Lawrence County.
Yeah. And it is, to me, I've described it many times, it's like a big family reunion to me. And covering the parade like I have to, or want to every year, not have to, but you hear your name being called from everywhere, and it's people you might not have seen since last year's parade. So to me, that's what I'm going to miss most about not having the festival this year. And that's why we're doing these shows, and you're going to be hearing future shows on the history. We work close with Gil Gillis and the TV station, and we put together so many things, and that's why we have Will. We're going to take a break in a moment and bring Patrick Thames in. But that's what we're doing. We didn't want you to miss it this year. And we're going to be showing past St. Patrick's festivals. We're going to have one Saturday, Super Saturday. You're still going to celebrate it because all day long, we're going to be playing all the St. Patrick's parades all day long, back to back to back to back. So you can still enjoy it. And if you're just joining us on this show here, you can go to our YouTube channel. We literally have tens of thousands of you watch us because now, Will, it's amazing how TV has changed. I'll be at the doctor's office and somebody will have their phone up like this and they'll say, James, I'm watching you right now do interview Will Curry or whatever, you know. So people are watching TV on the go.
Oh, they are.
TV has
game
changed. Yeah, it really has. So, and that's a good thing. I like that. You know, we can be mobile and still stay up with things. So we hope you'll join us all month long in the month of March because we're going to continue to bring you past festivals. And next year, it's going to be bigger and better than any festival we've ever had because
we are all ready to celebrate together.
Yes, we are going to be hunkered down, ready to go so bad. So we're going to take a break, and as promised, I'm going to try to lasso Patrick Thames in on the set and talk to him for a few minutes. Will, thank you. I know you're busy. You got a lot going on. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
Absolutely, and if I can real quick, on behalf of the Dublin Rotary Club and the Joint Civic Luncheon, I'd like to thank all of our service clubs, the Exchange Club, the Dublin Service League, and the Civitan Club for their partnership through many years of the Joint Civic Luncheon, and we look forward to celebrating together again soon.
Absolutely. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Dr. Collins Courtang and the City of Hope Heart and Vascular Center reminds you that February is Heart Health Month. Did you know that cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of women in the United States? There's no need to put off an examination. Cardiovascular disease kills more women than cancer. One woman dies every 80 seconds in the United States due to cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease can affect women of any age.
Dr. K specializes in internal medicine, echocardiography, nuclear cardiology, general adult cardiology, and interventional cardiology. Other areas of expertise include acute and chronic heart attack management, peripheral interventions to save legs from being amputated, heart rhythm abnormalities like atrial fibrillation. At City of Hope Heart and Vascular Center, we do your heart right. Call for an appointment today at 478-353-1970. Accepting new patients and walk-ins. Relax, Dublin. Dr. K and City of Hope has you covered.
The City of Dublin Natural Gas provides the most cost-efficient source of energy available today. So for your home, choose the most natural resource. Safe, clean, efficient. All new subdivisions around the Dublin area have natural gas available. Start reducing your energy bills today with Dublin City Natural Gas Department. Natural gas, the smart choice. Call 277-5048 today and let us help you start saving today.
Welcome back, everybody. I have with me now Patrick Thames. He was going to be this year the chairman of the Joint Civic Luncheon, and you probably gonna have the easiest job of any chairman so far.
Well, we're still going to possibly try to get it in. It just may be at a later date this year.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. None of us knew this time last year this pandemic would still be going on. So
We were in hopes it wouldn't be.
Yeah, absolutely. But maybe with the vaccine, we could get enough of our citizens, and we encourage you again to try to get that vaccine if any way possible. And Dr. Kraft said the other day that they can see light at the end of the tunnel with this vaccine. So as a community, you know how we all come together for St. Patrick's? Let's all come together and take this vaccine. I get my second one tomorrow. And I didn't even know, if I hadn't looked down and saw them give it to me, I wouldn't even known I had a vaccine. It was just painless. It was no side effects. My arm was a little tender, but hey, I'd rather my arm be a little tender than to get COVID. And I want to start with this, Patrick, but Will and I were talking a while ago. Looking back the past year, if we look back to, we're taping this on February 22nd, last February 22nd, at the people that we have lost, community servants and not necessarily community servants, a lot of them were, but whether it was your dad or mom or sister or brother or child or whatever, and you lost them to COVID, that's devastating no matter who it is.
Oh, the losses have definitely made an impact on the community, just for the structure of the community, the fiber of the community.
Absolutely.
It's never good to lose anyone, but this has really
Yep.
made a difference.
It has. I'm telling you, every day I open the paper and just 2 pages of obituaries. It's just, and I'll read the names and look at the ages, you know, and I'll see 46 years old and 50 years old and, you know, young people, and it don't matter if they're 90. It has nothing to do with it. But one man we lost, I do want to talk about just a second. We lost Dr. Lester Porter this year, and if there was a man who loved St. Patrick's and could tell you the history, if he was here today, now it would be a 3-hour show because anytime I interviewed Dr. Porter, I freed up my afternoon to do it. But he knew history and about the shillelagh and all, and you know, and I see you nodding your head, I know you realize this, but those of you that didn't know Dr. Porter, we lost a true community servant there that he knew St. Patrick's, didn't he?
He did, and he was always a joy to talk to and be around.
Absolutely.
He started, I believe, the shillelagh.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he brought it by the station one day to show me that shillelagh and to give me a history lesson. And it's things like that, y'all, that make St. Patrick's what it is today. From Dick Killebrew and Ann Everly and W.H. Champion, you know, when they sit around at Ma Hawkins those mornings and say, we got to do something for our community. Never would they have dreamed that, you know, 55, 56 years later, we'd be sitting here talking about St. Patrick's.
And continues to grow and get bigger every year.
Yeah, it has. Well, you've been chairman before.
I have.
And tell me about that year. What is it like being chairman of the St. Patrick Festival?
It's a full year-round job, but it's fun. It is a give back to the community, and all the work is really leading up to the festival, and then once the festival gets here, you get to sort of see it all fall into place.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to have a good employer to allow you to do, which you do, to allow you to do that, don't you?
You do. And Bank of Dudley, thankfully, has always allowed me to be involved in the community, and it's important to them that we are involved.
Yep. Well, Bank of Dudley, such a rich history. I mean, a 115-year-old bank. You don't actually look that old, but Bank of Dudley and all our banks. But you work with Bank of Dudley. Always not only support St. Patrick's, but being in the television business like I am, I can see from the other side what people do. But our local banks support our community. I'll just leave it at that. Whatever it might be, football or whatever, or the East Lawrence Falcon girls, congratulations, winning region, or Dublin winning region. Bank of Dudley is always in there supporting these things.
The community banks are one of the true backbones of the community that help allow a lot of things to happen that you don't even realize.
And one of them is our downtown Dublin. You got to admit, Patrick, and you and I travel and go places and do a lot of things, but and we're biased, I know, but we've got one of the most beautiful downtowns. Just
since I've been here, I mean, the involvement of the downtown has just been amazing.
Yep. So you're thinking maybe if we could all get vaccinated and the numbers continue, and they're going down drastically in our community. So y'all are planning possibly in the fall maybe having joint civic luncheon?
That's what we're hoping for. We're staying in constant contact with other civic clubs, and everyone's in agreement that they want to try to do that.
Why are you a Rotarian?
To be able to serve others and help others in the community, and then help others even farther beyond, because Rotary does a lot of work all over the world.
Yes, from, you know, and I'll say to younger people about wiping out polio, and I'll always hear, what's polio? That's a good thing when people don't know what polio is. But I know growing up, I went to school with a couple of, they were happened to be boys, that one of them I rode the bus with had polio, and they had problem. Well, look at Gene Crafton. He got polio at a young age and lost the use of his arm, and but thanks to people like the Rotarians, Bill Gates Foundation, and people like that, it's being wiped out all over the world, isn't it?
Yeah, I had two great uncles that had polio.
So,
And then the water wells that Rotary puts in the undeveloped world, going around and putting in fresh water wells in places that desperately need it.
yeah, and that's another thing we take for granted. I think, our water, it don't matter where you live, you turn the faucet on there, you got good water. There's parts of the world, I had a missionary just tell me, came back from India, you can't even drink the water there. They had to take cases of bottled water and help build a well while they were there so people can have good drinking water. So,
Well, that's the thing, you think of the pitcher pump wells, that you think, this was something 100 years ago that was in the U.S. and not anything that happens now, but those are the same wells they're putting in other places in the world still to this day.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we just take those things for granted. There's no doubt. I listened to my heat cut on last night, and of course, we do a lot of work with the homeless in this community, and every time I hear that heat cut on, it goes in my mind about people that are literally living on the streets or under the bridge or wherever, and we just lose sight of that sometimes.
But I think that's one of the things the virus has made us do, is maybe remember what we have taken for granted.
Amen.
And what's important and what's not really important. It's maybe helped us refocus our lives.
Also, switching gears a little bit, every year I go to the Balloon Fest, I know two people is going to be out there. I always get there early, and you and Robin Flanders, Mullis Flanders, you're always going to be there early, and before they ever fire the balloons up, they're still laying on the ground or whatever. But you got involved in that many years ago, didn't you?
Yeah, Robin sort of got me involved in it, and this would have been the 5th or 6th year that I'd have been involved in it, and about the 2nd or 3rd year that I've been over it with Robin. So we have fun with that. It's something you don't get to see very often, and it's got a uniqueness to it, and it's something that draws from all over Georgia, but all over the Southeast, and we've even had some people from overseas that have come for the Balloon Fest.
Yeah.
It's something we really enjoy.
And it's and like all the St. Patrick's Festival, the Balloon Fest is no different, but it's a family affair. I come every year with my wife and my grandkids, and I got nieces and nephews, and you don't have to worry about them.
Well, and it's something we've continued to try to grow on, not only with balloons, but we were to add a car show this past year, having food and live music and other entertainment out there. We really want to build on that day and make it something really special, topped off by the balloons. Thanks to the foresight of Matt Hatchett years ago in helping getting that started.
And still supports it.
He does.
To this day. So Matt was the brainchild there. He wanted to bring something different to the festival, and it's definitely different, but it's a good different. And when my favorite is on Friday night when they light up the balloons, and it's just, I love filming that. And then, I always go back to the station and dump the footage in, and I always see something that I didn't realize was there, but the Balloon Fest is wonderful.
And we really expanded that a couple of years ago. Due to weather, by accident, it made us move the glow to a different night. And so that sort of started us having two glows. So we have it on Friday and Saturday night now.
Yeah, but as we mentioned earlier, we've had to cancel the events this year, but the St. Patrick's Festival Committee wanted to, we didn't want to miss out this year, and that's why we're doing the project that we're doing here. You're seeing this a part of it. You've seen many shows. Matter of fact, Patrick, on Super Saturday, we're going to be broadcasting many parades and the arts and crafts, and you can watch it on our YouTube channel or watch it over the air. But the committee did not want to go by and just not do anything. Last year it caught us off guard.
It did. It really did. It happened. We had to cancel the day before balloons, and believe me, that was tough.
Yeah, it was a tough decision, We got so many, everybody, you know, it's kind of like the Chamber of Commerce and the TV station. Everybody calls for whatever reason, and there was so much criticism, and I remember each one of them, I'd tell them why, and then bar none, I would say every single time, and I still say it to this day, I'm glad I didn't have to make the decision because that's a hard decision to make, isn't it?
Well, and it wasn't one we took lightly. I mean, it was a decision not just based off the committee either. I mean, we had all the leadership from within the community, from every different aspect there that helped make that decision together.
Yeah. And we have to yield our experts. Dr. Kraft, we couldn't have a better man at the helm of South Central Health District, and of course Don Avery. You got to listen to these people. I mean, they know what they're doing, and we don't. So when it comes to that, anyway.
Well, and this is a decision they didn't enjoy making either.
No, absolutely not. But okay, you heard me ask Will a while ago. You've had time to think about it, but give me a few of your favorite events.
Well, obviously Balloon's going to be one of them.
Have to be.
And I enjoy the pancake supper. I enjoy the fellowship that takes place there, and then arts and crafts too.
Yeah.
I like the events that bring the large number of people together to fellowship and enjoy their community. And I think it's one of those. That festival brings everybody from all different walks of life together to come together and enjoy it.
Yes, absolutely. It's as I said a while ago, it's like a big old family reunion. People you hadn't seen, and you keep hearing your name. And I always hate, of course, growing up here, people say, "Do you remember me?" And I have to say to some people, you look familiar, but you know, I think everybody gets older except me. I'm kidding about that, but you know, you just can't figure out sometimes who people are. But it is fun to be able to leave the parade and walk right over to the area, farmers market area, where of course it's laid out more than that Bicentennial Plaza all the way through. But it is so much fun, and I agree with all three of yours. I'd have to put the parade right there too, because it kind of all goes together.
It does, and you know, I've done the parade before, ran it, and it was truly an experience as well.
Absolutely. Anything else we hadn't covered that you think our audience needs to know?
Just that we are planning on coming back bigger and better and making it more exciting this next year. I mean, that is our goal, is to really, really make it something special.
Okay, well, you've heard from Will Curry, Patrick Thames today, and we've covered a lot more than we had planned to, but anytime I get these two guys pinned down, and both of y'all have been super busy today, I know, but thank you so much. You had to squeeze me in today, but thank you for taking the time to do that, Patrick.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank y'all for joining us today on TV 35, and you hadn't heard this a lot this year, but Aaron O'Brien.
At Morris Bank, we understand that your personal finances and banking experiences can be stressful. We also know that it doesn't have to be that way. That's why for over 60 years, we've dedicated ourselves to providing common sense banking to people just like you. We work hard to combine the latest online mobile technology and top-notch customer service that allows us to do just that.
We realize our customers have choices, but what sets us apart is the personal service that we provide that they may not receive at larger institutions. We like to make you feel at home, and we like to make the process as easy as possible when you're banking with us.
But we're not focused on helping just our customers. We are equally dedicated to supporting the community we are a part of. Just this year alone, we've logged thousands of community service hours and provided significant financial support to the communities we serve. We want to make sure you have the best banking experience possible. Come see us or give us a call to find out what makes Morris Bank different, because we're banking on you.